What lengths will the evil Brainiac go to crack the code on the unknowable secrets of the universe? Well, let's hop into the pages of Superman issue number 14, a continuation of the House of Brainiac story, and find out together, shall we? So then, picking up directly from where the last issue left off, Lobo had been made an offer he couldn't refuse by General Jakal and the other bad blood Zarnians. If the main man can do what he's never done before and officially kill Superman, then he will be made the brand new leader of the bad blood. Superman is obviously deeply annoyed by Lobo's newest betrayal, especially because for a second there it seemed like they were actually seeing eye to eye like never before when they talked about being fathers and family men. Though in a way this also makes a lot of sense in terms of characterization. As Lobo puts it, a gang is basically like a family. However, unlike a family that tries to bring out the good in all of us, a gang is of course perfectly fine feeding into all your worst impulses. But also, like a gang, when you're in one, it means you never have to fight your battles alone. It seems that General Jakal and the others are on a bit of a rough timetable right now. They need to capture Superman and bring him to Brainiac, lest Brainiac destroy all the other Zarnians he still has trapped in his bottle city. Luckily for them, they brought some chains forged in the fires of Apocalypse. Not only are they super cool accessories, they're also very practical and useful, don't you know? The bad news just keeps on coming too. Now that Superman is Brainiac's prisoner, he doesn't need to keep around nearly as many members of Superman's family, including Supergirl, who is currently on the run in what remains of Callooh with Lex Luthor. Luthor actually takes this opportunity to open up to Kara about what he saw inside Brainiac's brain, and in a nice bit of continuity he says that he first got this vision all the way back when he rebuilt Brainiac for the Legion of Doom. Lex says that inside Brainiac's mind exists the greatest repository for knowledge in the entire universe, hell, in many multiverses, as he's recruited so many other versions of himself. The only problem is, in that vast sea of information, there's also some pretty big, glaring, empty spots. Again, they don't go as far as to say it, but we're talking about love and family here. The evil machine cannot comprehend human emotion, and because of it, he feels genuinely incomplete. And when Brainiac feels incomplete, he's willing to go to some truly horrifying, truly destructive lengths if it means making himself whole again. Lex and Supergirl end up getting cornered by a bunch of Brainiac's murderous killbots, only to be saved at the last second by the intervening Vril Drox, aka one of Brainiac's progenies. In fact, he's not alone, as his own mother is there with him. I also really enjoy the attention to detail that Supergirl goes out of her way to say, hey, last time we saw you, weren't you a villain? And indeed he was. Hell, between that, the Omega Titans getting a name drop, the Legion of Doom, and now this, that entire Scott Snyder run of Justice League is getting just so much love in this story. By the time Lobo and the other Zarnians bring a captive Superman to Brainiac, he's all ready to move on with the next stage of his experiment. He says that once upon a time he thought that Superman gained his amazing abilities from Earth's yellow sun. Yet despite that, he seems to have a secret well of power underneath it all, something that he's able to draw on in times of need, something that Brainiac has never been able to understand. Again, he's talking about the power of love. But because he is just this sociopathic machine, he cannot bring himself to actually come out and say the words. And I mean, it makes sense. The power of love is a curious thing. Makes one man weep, another man sing, change a hawk into a little white dove. More than a feeling, that's the power of love. You would figure in scouring the multiverse like he did, Brainiac would have come upon some version of Huey Lewis in the news, but here we are. Superman and the rest of his family end up getting hooked up to Brainiac's machine, and when he fires it on, all of their powers end up being drained into his brand new creation. Let me introduce you to the Bride of Brainiac. The ungodly results of what happens when an alien robot tries his hardest to understand human emotion. Even the Zarnians like General Jakal have to laugh. Really, this is what it was all about? Brainiac trying to create a female doppelganger? And honestly, that's a pretty interesting read in and of itself too, when we stop and consider we have seen all these different Brainiacs from all these different universes, yet for some reason they are all men. What follows after that is a series of backstabbings and double crosses. The Zarnians figure that now is the perfect time to renege on their deal against Brainiac, and Brainiac figures now is the perfect opportunity to turn his brand new bride on his enemies as to test her functionality. You might also be wondering to yourself, well, how the hell is Brainiac going to be able to kill all these Zarnians? Aren't they immortal? They're invincible with amazing healing factors. But as Lobo himself proved when he destroyed the planet, the Zarnians are not immortal. They can indeed be killed, and Brainiac has been sitting on that secret himself for all this time. A secret that the Queen Brainiac now holds. She ends up tearing into General Jakal and his forces like a wood chipper on bath salts. It's a brutal, violent, bloody affair, and to make things worse as the comic comes to an end, the first words that Queen Brainiac shares with the reader is more power. She wants more power. And so that was Superman issue number 14, everybody, and once again I continue to enjoy what Joshua Williamson is laying down in this series. Queen Brainiac looks like a really interesting new twist on the whole Frankenstein's monster, singularity, machines creating machines, old science fiction tropes. They certainly give her a hell of an entrance right now and put her over big against all of those rogue Zarnians, and it seems like she's going to be sticking around for a long time, at least until the events of Absolute Power. I'm also sure there's going to be some sort of lesson in here too, like, hey Brainiac, this is what happens when you try and create a family without the concept of love in mind. You end up just, well, creating a monster. One that I have to wonder moving forward if Brainiac even will be able to control himself, but I guess we'll have to figure that out in the next issue. Overall, I would give this one another very well-deserved 8 out of 10. Consistently great stuff.
Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel again, thanking you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out my Amazon link down in the description. Yes, that's right, the Cape Joel channel officially has its own Amazon storefront now. You can pick up a comic or anything else for that matter, and if you did, you'd really be helping me and the channel. So with that out of the way everyone, I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.